Alrighty, I got some pretty cool, interesting news today. Roots and Harvest sent me a Plucker to try out. Not like I'm famous or anything, but they saw my video where I made some modifications to their original Plucker, and they contacted me on Instagram, said, hey, we saw your video, we've made some upgrades, would you like to try out the new one and make another video about it? And I'm like, yeah, of course, I'll try it. And that was pretty much the extent of the conversation. They're like, all right, send us your information. Sent it to them. They sent me out a Plucker. While I didn't pay for that, I did pay for my original one. I do like my original one. There's a few things I'd like to change, but let me test it out and tell you, maybe you should sell off that old one and upgrade to get this one. But again, that was kind of the whole conversation. They didn't say I had to say anything nice about them. And I didn't actually know they were owned by LEM until I was like, well, if they're gonna send me something, I gotta know a little bit more about these people. And then I noticed on the logo, it's like, oh, by LEM? I'm like, I've got a bunch of their stuff and I love their stuff. Pretty much all of our processing, like sausage making, all that stuff is through them. Love their stuff. And you know, I'll tell you that before, because I've already spent, you know, $1,000 plus on their equipment. I'll say that before they even reached out to me. Anyways, let's get this new Plucker out of the box, get it assembled, talk about the differences, and then I've got chickens to process today. So let's get it going. Got a little note for them. It's kind of funny. Put somewhere in the box. They sent me a little note. Basically, hey, we're looking forward to hearing your thoughts on the improvements we made. Thank you for taking some time to connect with us and the Roots and Harvest brand. We're always looking to improve our products, so thank you for being a huge part of our efforts. Warm regards, Roots and Harvest. I like that. And you know, it's little things like that that everything comes off of Amazon today, from companies you have no clue who they are, or these big companies who are really just shell companies for, you know, these large conglomerates. And I don't know, I like little stuff like that, you know? It makes me want to buy more stuff. Maybe you're not that way, that's fine, but I kind of am. I'm a sucker for stuff like that. Warranty registration, step-by-step on harvesting, stuff I don't ever read. This packaged pretty nicely. Heavy. I bet you I'm supposed to take these bolts off, but yeah. I'm gonna do my deadlift for the day. Easy, heavy. So the original Plucker, this top piece came off, or you had to screw it on. There's really no need to take it off, but now it looks like it's one piece construction. I do remember this. So they come with these little things to lock it. I never use them. Actually don't even know where they're at. And I think these things are, yeah, they're just temporary to hold this. When you put it together, they have stuff welded on. Okay, so inside. So the way they package it, all the fingers are bent all over, but I think those will straighten out. We'll see. I'll let you know. I'll also tell you, so this thing says the yellow arrows need to match up when you do this. This is like a sensor. Those stickers on the last one, they didn't last more than the second try. So yeah, we'll see how these stickers last any longer. So as far as the main upgrades that I understand so far, one, now this has a water attachment. So you can hook your water in here, versus the other one didn't have anything, so you just sprayed it down, which is a little inconvenient, but not that big of a deal. And then on the inside, it's basically just a hose. It looks like a hose that they just wrapped around and then drill holes in it. The main thing is the button is no longer underneath. I've added a foot pedal switch to my old one. You can scroll back a few videos and see that I did that. Now they say it's on the handle, which the other one also doesn't come with a handle, so that'll be nice for transportation. It's not too hard to move this thing around anyways, but handle is just like one of those nice little upgrades. This has a chute, so it shoots out the feathers. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know if this is gonna work very well. Feathers tend to kind of get clogged up. We'll see if it works or not. If not, I mean, just take it off. I have everything go straight down into a bucket. That's not necessarily a problem, but having it shoot out to the side might be a little bit better. All right, let's get it together. It's getting hot. So that took me just under 30 minutes, and mostly because I was reading through and figuring stuff out and I had to go get my tools. But all you need is you need a Phillips head screwdriver and a 13mm wrench socket. You probably need a socket to do the middle piece. I just did it with this, so that's not bad. 2 tools. It also comes with 2 zip ties, so you can zip tie this power cord and everything else so it's not flopping. I'll do that later. And then an extra bolt. I hope this is just extra. I have no idea. It's an extra bolt and spring washer, so I didn't see where this went. But also, these bolts are pretty nice. I mean, I don't know. I always feel like everything today comes with like the cheapest, thinnest, like this is the bare minimum to get by, and by the time it breaks, warranty will be over anyways. It's not a huge deal, but again, it's like, you know, they probably wasted another, or spent another 10 cents per bolt or something, and I appreciate it. I like stuff like that. It's just, this is better. And then it's got the, you know, built-in washers. I hate assembling washers. I always lose them, so I don't know, it's just weird little things like that that you're like, okay, somebody there who designed this was like, let's just put these on, it's better. I can be very particular on stuff. I used to work at a really high-end cabinet shop where we always spent the extra money. We always did the extra step. And I loved working there for that fact. It was actually the last job I had and I got fired, go figure. Apparently I have an attitude problem, which I do. I loved working there because it was like, you know what? No, do it this way or do it that way because that's the better way to do it. That's always kind of my mindset. Doesn't mean my budget always, you know, goes with my mindset. Way too much talking about a bolt. I just like it. So I didn't even really need the assembly instructions. I was just kind of trying to figure out where some of these bolts went. And then the only one I wanted to use is for putting that plate on to make sure I got the right bolt and washer, because there was that extra one. And I didn't think the big one was what it was supposed to use. No Kentucky. And then it's supposed to say you install like the proximity switch, but it's already installed. I don't know. I'm not gonna read through this, but if somebody wants to, it's there. Then they have a little warranty card, which I never fill these things out. I always feel like if I have to turn in something for a warranty, then I'm just gonna buy something else. I'm a hater like that. But my other one, you know, we've had it a long time and no problem, so I'm not too worried about it. I got this nifty poultry harvesting step-by-step. I'm totally gonna keep this. So I teach a chicken processing class and I'm stealing this. Can't say I can't, because I'm going to. But yeah, so they also have, you can buy these cone setups, which I would like, but I'm not gonna spend the money on it. And then they have a scalder, which I have a very similar scalder, but I think theirs is probably gonna be a little bit nicer. I don't like the one I have. So if you want me to try that one out, I will, but I'm not gonna beg for free stuff. But yeah, so I went on their website and they've got everything that you need. So if you're just starting out, Roots and Harvest, I think it's rootsandharvest.com. Yeah, rootsandharvest.com. I'll put a link. I know this probably sounds like I'm really shilling this company, but I'm already using their stuff. I've already bought their stuff. I've already spent it. I mean, between the old Plucker, the grinder, the jerky cannon, the sausage press, I even use their meat lug totes. I like them better than the cheaper ones I found. I'm shilling like crazy. But now that I know they own Roots and Harvest, I'm definitely gonna be getting more. But yeah, so they got the cone, scalder, plucker, bleeding knife, shackles, shears, poultry bags, straws, zip ties. I mean, they got the whole shebang. So check out Roots and Harvest. Let's turn it on real quick. That sounds a little rougher than my current one. Maybe once I start spraying it with water, it'll change. The last cord, which is one of my complaints, I mean, it only came out this far. Like, spend the extra, you know, $1 to make this a little bit longer. They did, so I'm very happy about that. The switch being up here, love that. I still think I might put a foot pedal on because I think the foot pedal is a really nice upgrade, but there's problems with putting a foot pedal. As far as a plug and play, this is much better than their old version. But let's see how it works. I always do too, so. It works. Now I'll tell you, I was kind of worried about the feathers rinsing down because this shoots water into the center and it's kind of rinsing the birds off, not necessarily the plucker. When I use the other one and I manually hose, I squirt all the way around the sides because that helps rinse the feathers down. I don't necessarily rinse birds, I rinse the feathers, if that makes sense. However, that actually did a pretty good job of getting the feathers down. So as you can see, I've got plenty more. Oh, you can't see that, there you go. I got plenty more and there's still some more I have to do today. I think I'm doing about 30. We'll see how I like this. Let me get rolling and then catch you when I'm done. Well, it's probably like 2 months later. It's been a while and I didn't get to finish the video. Long story short, I lost pretty much all those chickens I processed and it just put me in a real bad mood. So I didn't get to finish filming. So we're gonna finish now. Also, my wife had the baby, so we've been a little distracted the last couple weeks. But anyway, I also realized I didn't do a comparison between the old one and the new one. And the reason I want to do a comparison between the old one and the new one, even though they don't sell the old one anymore, is because the old one is still a design that other companies use. So it's a good comparison to show like, hey, you might find it for a little bit cheaper elsewhere, but here's the major problems with that design. So let me just kind of run through this again, the pros and cons, and then, you know, if you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments and we'll wrap this video up. So here's a good look, just a little general overview of the new one and the old one. You can see on the new one, there's a handle that you can use for transport. And on that handle is the on-off switch versus the on-off switch on the old one is down below. And that's not fun to do when this thing's running. And I mentioned this earlier, but just to show you, the new one has a one-piece top where it's like welded or pressed on. The other one you had to bolt on. New one has that side chute, which I actually didn't know if I would like, but I do like it after using it. And the old one just had, it just dropped right below, which is kind of inconvenient because you have to put a bucket under there, or I don't know, on rotor, which is kind of inconvenient because you have to put a bucket under there or something, or it really just floods the area you're working in. So even if you're not using a bucket, just having everything shoot off to the side, you can kind of direct where all of that water and all those feathers go. So I do like that side chute. The old one had about a finger width of space and feathers would constantly get caught in it. It wasn't a horrible thing, but it was just kind of an annoyance. The new one, I would say it's a 2-finger gap, and feathers still can get stuck, especially if you're doing older birds. So like when we culled all of our roosters, they have, you know, nice thick long feathers. Those would get stuck, but as far as doing meat birds, Cornish cross, almost never did anything get stuck, so that was really nice. The old one, you just had to use your separate hose. I don't think that's that big of a deal. I think you get a little bit more control doing that, versus the new one has built-in water. I don't like how they have the connection, so I added a right angle hose connection. That way the hose just kind of hangs straight down versus at an angle, and that's good for your hose and also that fitting, because as you're moving and as that water is going on and off, it rocks a little bit. It's still pretty far out. You know, I think they should just switch it to a right angle right there, and then maybe reinforce on the inside because it wobbles a little bit. But The built-in water is nice. You just now need, because the way we process, you know, we need a hose to spray off the table and everything else we're doing. Now we have to have a few more hose connections, whereas before we just sprayed the chickens here and then took the hose with us from right here to right there. So it's not like it was a long carry. But yeah, we just got a hose splitter. Big deal. I don't know if it's a game changer for me, but my wife and everyone else who used it really liked it. All right, well, thanks for sticking around and watching this video. Again, they didn't say I had to say anything nice. They didn't give me any parameters or anything I had to say about this. They're just like, hey, make a video. So that's what I did. I didn't get paid for this. They did send this to me for free. I still don't even know if they want it back. I assume they don't because they didn't say anything. But I plan on keeping it anyway because I like it. And I actually took this new one out to Flagstaff and I taught a class out there. And again, you know, so I just got more hands, more eyes on the machine. I probably personally have put 60 to 70 birds, maybe 80 birds through this already. And I do like this one more than the old one. I think the old one's just fine. But, you know, you give me the choice of which one, I'm gonna go with this one. I don't know. Anyways, I could just keep talking. This video is probably long enough. And I don't have a link or anything. They didn't give me nothing. I probably could ask for one, but go to their website, rootsandharvest.com, sign up for their emails, sign up for their text messages months in advance of when you want one of these things. They will send you out coupons all the time. I get messages from LEM all the time, like 20 bucks off $100 or more, or 20% off if you spend $300. You know, these things are $400 or $500. So sign up, save your money, and I get nothing out of it, but I did get a free plucker, so pretty happy about that. All right. I'm gonna keep talking, so see you guys on the next one.